also going to be good is because we are going to pull out an aircraft that is very unique. In fact, I don't know of any of these aircraft in the United States, and if there are, there's very few. Most of these originated from Europe. And on top of it, this one is from 1950. Yes, 1950. So I'm not going to give a lot of details. I'm just going to show you the details. But if all plays well and the weather behaves, we're going to take this particular aircraft flying, and epic is an understatement. It's one of the coolest looking planes. I shouldn't call it a plane, it's a glider, but it's incredibly cool. So let's go take a look at what this thing is all about, and I will give you a first-hand perspective on some of the most unique style of glider that you will see. And when I say bird's eye view, this glider is the perfect definition of bird's eye view. So buckle up. Is this? Is the first question.
Okay, so it is a 1950 Slingsby T21B.
Slingsby 21B.
Yeah, so Slingsby. Slingsby is the company.
Okay.
And the model was a T21. And I mean, the preponderance of them built were Bs. There was a prototype, there was an A model, but anyway, this is a B. All the ones that are out there in service are B models. So yeah, Slingsby, T21B. This one was built in 1950. Designed as a trainer. So
okay.
It was, let's see, in 1944, the prototype was conceived by Slingsby. But in the midst of the war, it was shelved, and the RAF wasn't too interested in it at the time. So it was shelved until about 1947. And in the post-war, era, as gliding was getting started again, in 1947, Club found the prototype and took interest in it again, and then ended up, they started building them, and there's different sources. I've seen 218 built, 226 built, so somewhere.
And how many of these are in the United States?
Okay, so of the 218 to 226 built,
okay,
I know that there are 6 airframes physically in the U.S. There are, let's see, there's one in Moriarty that is deregistered and is in a museum. Then the other 5 are FAA registered, and I've confirmed that 2 are airworthy because we've met.
Because we've met them.
3.
Because we know them.
What does this weigh?
So this one, empty weight, is about 620 pounds.
Okay.
And then it has a useful load right around 420.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad, and I mean, especially I can fly with someone up to my size.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good, because I mean, when I was instructing at the Air Force Academy, we had it was always sort of a balance of the size of the instructor versus the student, and, so you had to pick and choose the right crew complement. But this is pretty nice. It's got quite a decent useful load.
And its glide ratio, what's that?
Published 21:1.
For that era is pretty good, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So it's all things considered. So this is roughly similar in performance and weight to the Schweitzer 233.
Okay.
So very, very similar in glide ratio. I think it's somewhere within about 50 pounds of max gross weight. So the max gross weight of this is 1,050 pounds.
1,050. Okay.
And then, so published 21:1. I think the 233 is 23:1. So it's surprisingly comparable for as huge and bulky as it looks.
It reminds me of a PBY.
And hence the name the barge, because it looks like a boat hull. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That is fascinating.
But it's fun. So it was built in the post-war era. The design, and again, I said it was around 44. The prototype was conceived, but the war superseded its introduction and really the RAF's interest. But then after 47, and the club started using it, then it got picked up, and the RAF took more interest, and then eventually I think came up with 73 were delivered to the RAF, and then there were 19 that were built by a subcontractor, an additional 19 that were delivered to the Air Cadets.
Wow.
And those 19 were built by a subcontractor called Martin Hearn Limited. And I know this is getting in the weeds, but this is one of the cool little details about this airplane.
Okay.
Is that this is, of those 218 or so that were built, this is one of those 19 that was built by a subcontractor on RAF Houghton Park in the UK. And so the plate here is Martin Hearn Limited, and it was serial number 12 of the 19 that were subcontracted.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't go out looking for that.
Yeah.
I went looking for a T21.
Yeah.
I found one, but it just happened.
That's also why the instruments look the way they do.
And why is that? But
They're metric.
So this originally, it originally had imperial instruments in feet and knots. The POH was in knots. And then it has this pellet variable. This one doesn't work right now. We got to work on getting that one fixed. And then it had a battery-powered turn and slip indicator right here.
Really?
Yeah.
And some of these, for someone that's not familiar with a glider instrumentation, obviously, with some of the...
So it's very basic, but what's funky about, at some point in this aircraft's life, this is the original instrument panel, but these instruments are not original.
Okay.
So I don't know if they went in Sweden or Denmark or Germany, but by the time I found it, we have a kilometers an hour airspeed indicator. We have a meters per second VVI, and then we have a meters altimeter.
Meters altimeter.
Yes.
And does that throw you off at all when you're...
Only when you're
So just like that, so I'm going to cross here, so then this goes through here, and then right here, just like that, and then this guy over the top, and then through. Good. Controls check. Canopy is open and unsecured. Goggles are down and secure. Check. No trim.
Everything is zipped up.
Zipped up. Alrighty. Alright, tow string, little one, and the weak link looks good. Alright, thank you.
Alright, open?
Open.
Close?
Close.
Good?
direction of wind is mostly. Just listen to that.
Like you
It
could
is.
be off by the second, like strikes, little.
Yeah. So
Like,
here's
it's that quick. I've seen it from that end.
see. There's my little cheat sheet of numbers.
That's good.
You literally have it all. Yeah. So knots, kilometers an hour, miles per hour, all of that. So, yeah. I mean, it gets off the ground. That's about 35 miles an hour. It's so light and so fast. Or not. It's not fast. It's quick to get off the ground at a slow speed.
That's incredible.
So these are all the published numbers. These knots are the published numbers from the original operating handbook. Then I convert it to kilometers because that's what's in this airplane. And then I convert it to miles per hour because most of the tow planes operate miles per hour, so that I can tell them those speeds to translate them.
I like that.
But
Prepared.
then what I have in my head is the kilometers, just because of that.
Okay.
Is when I'm flying. We got our dive brakes checked, direction of wind is checked, right to left, and then emergencies are briefed. If I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right, Brody, confirm clear.
Hold on. There's something in the pattern.
So it's really loud on tow. We'll be about 60 miles an hour, but then it's just delightful once we're off tow. It's quiet. So plan is a 2,000 foot tow. Perfect. All right. All right, and I'm ready.
Oh god, I can't find 100.
Okay. Ready? Are we clear?
Okay, I promise to do better on this one.
Okay.
Here you go.
Clear traffic.
Clear.
It's just so freaking cool.
You took your first glider flight here.
I did, yeah. So I soloed here, I got my license here, I gave my mom a ride, she was my first passenger.
Your mom was your first passenger?
Yep. That's
Wow.
right. And so back in June '98, and then I got to fly with her yesterday too. And my dad.
I cannot believe how much quieter and how much smoother the air is once you release the tow.
Yeah, it's nice.
And so, obviously, we're at -2 right now, so this is at...
So that's meters per second, so we're probably about 400 feet per minute down.
Perfect.
But I'm just working our way back towards the pattern. We're at about 1,500 AGL. 1,500 feet, that is.
Yeah.
And flying around at about 60 kilometers an hour. So we're actually getting a little bit of lift right now out here. We're not descending, we're actually climbing. But
And you're actuating the speed brakes right there?
yes,
or dive
yeah.
brakes? What are those?
Yeah. The air
Okay.
brakes, they're essentially located.
And they're above the wing?
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Unbelievable.
pretty decent wind, man. We were not coming down there in the pattern, so it was a pretty aggressive slip on final because we gained about 100 feet.
I
on
saw
downwind.
that. You kept climbing and...
This right now?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, so it's
Thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that the one part that stuck with me the most is the minute you released, it went to like silence.
Yeah.
And that's such a crazy phenomenon to me. Oh, wow. That was... This is one cool bird. I got not many words except that it's... What an incredible feeling. I see why you like these so much. Well, thank you for watching. I can't thank Colin and his wife enough for that incredible experience. There's nothing that I've experienced such as flying in an open cockpit glider. And not just to mention that, the history of the glider, you know, it goes way back to the 40s, and just the whole ambiance of being surrounded by such a massive free-flying aircraft. So once again, thank you, Colin, for that amazing experience. And I'm going to post down their social media in the description box, as well as they have a YouTube channel. So definitely go check them out. And thanks again for watching. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks, guys.